All right, so today we are here with Roland. This of young people always saying, "Oh, the government is bad and this and that and this and that." But today we are going to be asking if it was our turn to get there, are we going to do anything different? So I'm here with Igwe Roland, the assistant class prefect of O29 law class, and I hope to have a wonderful session with him. All right, those going straight into it, right? My first question is, if we gave every SUG leader the same power as a Nigerian governor, do you think they'll act any different?
Okay, good morning.
Morning.
Sorry, yeah, morning. Any time of the day
Yeah,
it is being
yeah,
listened to.
yeah.
Greetings to you, the listener. Quite frankly, the topic on like politics and then bringing it down to like the school level, right? And then saying that would they have like giving them the same powers as like the actual government
Yeah.
system? I don't think. I think it would be more accountable.
You think it's more accountable?
It would be more accountable on if for the only reason because it's a more direct democracy. But more or less, the main issue with like let's say indirect democracy, that's what we practice on like let's say on like the national stage.
Sorry, what does this direct and indirect democracy?
Okay, sorry. Direct democracy is like let's
Yeah.
say people directly voting in their leaders to like represent them. That's like
Okay.
and then it's a very direct process. They choose amongst themselves and then they elect.
Hmm.
Whereas an indirect system is whereby leaders are chosen through different methods, and then you then choose out of the options that are given to you to go and represent you, and then they are not like in direct contact with you. That's why it's indirect.
Okay.
That type of thing. So more or less on the more national scale is we're using a more indirect system, right?
Okay.
Whereas if you see like you say on very like school system based stuff, it's you accounting for a part that's more direct. But I'm not saying that like I say their personalities will like their personalities will definitely would be like up for
Yeah.
question
Yeah.
now.
But now
Yeah.
you're talking about the system
The
itself.
system itself, yeah, but not the
Right.
persons.
Man,
But as for the individuals, let's be honest. I wouldn't say there would be any difference.
why do you say so?
Because I'm not saying all of them
Yeah.
would not. Yes, let's not generalize it.
Yeah, let's not
But like
generalize.
the truth of the matter is, in as much as we want to like blame the government for being bad,
Yeah.
the government itself reflects the people. Even though we claim to not have a hand in how exactly it is run, we are basically still cogs in the system, and then it reflects how we are as a society. Because we can't yell at the top of our voices that oh the man at the top is like oppressing us, and then if you come to the hostel now, you have a dictatorship type arrangement
Oh wow,
where
wow,
there are
wow.
like stringent rules that then
Yeah.
cannot be what is executed.
Yeah, of
Because I
course.
think the last whole governors meeting that we had um in our hostel here particularly was
Yeah.
very more or less it was very disappointing to me because they were not talking about like let's say this is the problem and how to fix it. They're all talking about like this is the problem and this is how we should punish everybody. I think probably because in the back of my mind,
Hmm.
the reason why Nigeria has this mentality is more or less because of this prolonged relationship we had with the military system, where everything was like sanction based and all that. And I think that mentality hasn't gone away.
Hmm.
And then us paying for it has then resulted in like every single thing we do, like all our policies and all the
Yeah.
things that
They're
we
always sanction
they're
based,
always
not
sanction
not
based, not
solution
solution
based.
based.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the issue I'm having. Like even like that's what I mean by I don't think it'll be any different because
Hmm.
since we had that meeting and then these are the people that like it's a direct process, or a direct speech. I'm not saying the governor was any form
Hmm.
of dictatorship because in that meeting, different people were allowed to like air out their voices
Hmm.
and then they had their suggestions. And the suggestions that came from the crowd sounded like they were promoting a dictatorship. So that just tells you that like the government will always reflect the people in
Hmm.
as much as we try to claim that we don't want to because we are still part of it. Civil servants work there, everybody works for the government. We are the government.
Hmm. Okay,
Yeah.
I heard you say, like you just said now, the people reflect the government,
Yeah.
right? So do you suggest that we just go into full-time dictatorship? Here's what I mean. Like cutting off the people's opinion, since apparently the people's opinion are now basically kind of stupid and not all that helpful. So like, would it be smarter to go into like full time? We make the laws irrespective of what you think, and
Yeah, I understand the question.
yeah,
All right. So we've all read about Socrates, right?
yeah. So
Yeah. Back in like old Greece, what happened was everyone opposed his motion that democracy was not a system that would work because the people would not make it work. He gave the analogy of a ship, meaning that he gave an analogy of a ship whereby a ship is on sea and then it's on like a very high rough that type of that type of expedition where like let's say there are rough waves and then the ships are like everywhere. So he asked, who exactly are you going to like pick to lead this boat? Is it the most popular person on the boat or the most qualified person?
The most qualified, obviously.
Exactly. Whereas what exactly we are practicing currently is very populist democracy, where everybody just comes out and like let's say starts shouting and like whoever the best entertainer wins, not
the person
exactly
that is the most
popular, not the most qualified.
wins.
So credibility is like one thing that like democracy has like failed to include in its criteria, right, of a system. That's also when Socrates also highlighted that it then goes from democracy to demagoguery, right? And that was one of the views. That was the main reason he was like killed by the crowd. Yeah, executed by the crowd. It then also begs the question: what exactly is the difference between a democracy and an ocholocracy?
What is an ocholocracy?
An ocholocracy is like, let's say, in two words, mob rule. Mob rule.
Okay,
the rule of the mob.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. Exactly. So if at all we're just going by the most popular candidate, it's no longer like, let's say, the most qualified person. We're just like, we're being a mob that's airing out our views and like just whoever picks that our thing, that's our system. Yeah. But at the same time, democracy, not necessarily democracy, the constitution. Because I don't think democracy protects the people's rights and like all that. I think the constitution protects people's rights. And so far, the only system that allows for a constitution to lead the people is a democracy. Now, I think that's where, like, let's say we blur the lines as to which system is better, because we keep forgetting that the constitutions are what protect the people's rights, not the democratic system of electing people into office. Because because look at the UK now, is a monarchical system, and they have an unwritten constitution where the king is the supreme person. He's whatever he says goes. It's a very unwritten constitution. The parliament is there, but then there's no like changing constitution, right? The same thing with the like say military regime. There is no constitution. Because the constitution is allowed in democratic system, that is why it is looked at as the best option. Whereas for me, I like the whole idea of democracy.
Okay.
But I would also request that, like, let's say we take a book out of, like, let's say communist China. I'm not saying communism. I said I'm talking about current communist China, like, let's say the alleged method of, like, let's say, because I don't know anything about it. I'm just like this very like chauffeur knowledge, not very deep knowledge into it. More or less, it was like they pick their leaders based on how they performed in other sectors. Like okay, fine, you start from like base level chairman, you go on to do this, and then if you do well enough, you then get promoted. Why exactly do we use promotions for every other system but not the most important offices,
which is
leadership positions?
Okay, so exactly what you're basically suggesting is a form of like promotion.
Yes.
Like which governor is doing well,
exactly,
move on to vice president.
Exactly.
And you did vice president, so like move on to president.
Because there should be more of an incentive to like lead the people, and not an incentive for politics. Because that's what we have now. These are politicians, they're not leaders. That's the issue.
That's the issue. I mean, this perspective you brought in about this thing that Socrates said, and you are voting for who is more popular and who is not more qualified. For me, it's a new perspective because I never really. I've seen like a lot of bad things about democracy. I'm not politically
Yeah.
inclined. Tony has told me a lot about it, so I've seen a lot of bad things about democracy through Tony. But this part never really came in. So, do you? What do you think? We are practicing democracy here in United. More of like this
Yeah,
populist
yeah, this
this
populist
populist
direct democracy.
democracy.
Yeah, a lot of our
Like
practicing.
we are voting for who we know more.
Yeah.
But now the question is, whose fault is it exactly? Like I personally I don't like blaming and all, but like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's a problem, right? So let's know where the problem is coming from. Is the problem coming from okay? Because me me personally, I fall under this umbrella because the last SUG elections, I voted for people that I know. And maybe at the end of the day, the people that I did know, maybe they were not the most qualified. So is it the fault of the candidates for not showcasing themselves, or yeah, it should be the fault?
Okay. No, I think as a society, we bear some blame for like not doing our due diligence in like let's say
Yeah.
vetting who all these people are,
Mm,
right? But at the same time, I think this is why I said this is why this goes back to how I mentioned the constitution.
mm,
The institutions are to like let's say the institutions in charge of all these things
mm,
are the ones tasked with the responsibility to make sure that they produce or like let's say the best outcome happens.
mm,
They produce the best outcome basically. The electoral commission should ensure that like it's your job to produce the best person, not just running the election.
yeah.
Is like as in I thought about it like during the 2023 election, like how exactly do we have like let's say election issues because the elections only hold majorly 4 times a year.
Mm.
Sorry,
For,
sorry, 4 years,
once in four
once
years.
in 4 years. Sorry,
Yeah.
correct my whatever. Once in 4 years, right?
Mm,
Once in 4 years, you can't tell me that you don't have enough time to have like let's say arrange all the logistics you need for like the
yeah.
ballot boxes,
Yeah.
the canopies you need, and all that. Like that's 4 years.
Mm,
That's 4 years.
that's 4 years.
That's 4 years. So you can't tell me that oh you only that your entire job for 4 years is just to arrange logistics, right?
Mm,
The various institutions, the policies that are being made should basically produce these outcomes we want. And I don't know how exactly to start making the change,
mm.
but it is a change that needs to happen.
The change and
Yeah.
needs to happen. Well, okay. You know a lot about politics, and you are this personally. I didn't even know like you are this politically inclined person. Like first time I saw you, I didn't even expect you to come out for class rep. So like just let me ask, is there any related reason why came out for class rep? Maybe like you want to see a change and all this
Okay.
thing like that.
Okay. How like my because I feel like the intent to like run for class rep. That's where
Mm,
I think that let's point out my own selfishness in that sense.
mm,
But that's not. It's I was being a little bit selfish because quite frankly, of the two candidates that ran, I had no prior
yes.
I had no prior information,
Yeah,
intel,
advantage.
advantage,
Yeah.
or whatever to like let's say actually qualify for the position. And I think as a result of that, I know I didn't like let's say perform
Mm,
to my best potential or let's say
yeah.
capability or capacity,
Yeah.
right? But I would say this the my reasons for running for the election or like say running for the positions
Mm,
was to
strike balance.
strike balance that and ensure that the best candidates won because like I said I like the idea of democracy. I want people to actually like let's say vote in an election. I want people to go to the ballot boxes and then like with the intent that whatever decision I make today is
Have
an
an
actual
impact.
yes,
Yeah.
it will have an impact and it's an actual decision to be made.
Mm,
Whereas the election that was presented to us at the beginning of the semester or like I say at the time was one that whoever lost didn't actually lose, just became second place. And that didn't really feel much of, like, let's say, a decision. And I realized that at the same time, it would have happened that, like, let's say, the more popular candidates would have overwhelmed the other candidates. And like I said, I'm very opposed to populism.
Yes.
And we can all testify that the more capable candidates. No, let's not say the most capable. Let's not say the more capable. Sorry, let's just correct that. But like, let's say, but we can all testify that the person that won the position did a very good job.
Yeah.
With the task that was given to her.
Yeah.
So that was like, let's say, the main motivating factor as to why exactly I ran. Not because, forgive me if anyone feels offended, but like, my intentions for running was just that, to ensure that, like, let's say, it was actually a democratic process, and that a person that I believed had the capacity and proved herself well to do the job, did her job. Thank you.
I don't know where you're standing now. Like, you condemn democracy and you like it at the same time. Like, where exactly are you standing? Are you saying that the system is bad, but like you do like can you like tell me where you're standing?
Okay, let's be like this. You have a dad, you have a son.
Yeah.
There are things you do that your dad doesn't like, but he still loves you. That's my relationship with democracy. it's just that simple. Because the idea that, like, let's say, 1,000,000 people get to, like, let's say, discuss and decide collectively that this is what we want is very beautiful. It's very beautiful. Because, quite frankly, let's look at history now. The last time I think the human race came together and, like, decided that yes, we should do one amazing thing, it was so threatening that God has to, like, disband us.
Yes. Tower of Babel. Yeah.
Right? So, like, the idea that, like, we as a society, as a very vast chasm of people, can come together, have discussions amongst ourselves, and decide collectively that this is the way we want our ship to be run, but at the same time being led and being corrected wherever we're wrong, or, like, let's say, being guided by the most credible person, not the loudest voice. Because, quite frankly, we all know that empty barrels also make loud noise.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Like okay. Is like the analogy you gave is very beautiful and it has clarified it. Okay, you do believe that the idea of democracy is very beautiful, but then at the same time you do acknowledge that there are places where it has holes and
loopholes and all that.
Yeah. Is there any solution you can suggest to the loophole? Because I mean, democracy has become like I'm just tapping into your own perspective, and democracy now, like, in my eyes, is something very, very beautiful. Because the idea of a vast chasm of people coming together to build something. I mean, the last time we did it, God himself had to stop us. So it means that we can actually, like, people coming together is actually advantageous and good. Now, like, maybe do you think there's any way to, like, fill these loopholes and to actually tighten this democracy? Because democracy is beautiful until the disadvantages comes in. So, like, do you think maybe there's a way to actually fill these loopholes, like tighten the gaps?
Okay, I think, for one, the people themselves have to, like, have the right mind, because the difference in the supposed difference between a democracy and a mob is that the people on the different sides are two different types of people, and then we should also reflect that we shouldn't be a mob. We should be the people that, like, let's say, make decisions. I'm not saying that, like, we should cut out people, but then I'm not saying we should, like, make it very classist, or, like, let's say, put too many barriers on it, because it has to, like, enough voices has to be heard for it to, like, let's say, be uniform, right? So I think for a democracy in Nigeria, first, like, let's say, fix some loopholes, we have to start our educational system. I had this discussion with someone the other day, and they're like, I mentioned the fact that if at all I was, like, let's say, get into politics, the first thing I would, like, prioritize is education. And he was like, what type of education? the white man's education or our type of education. Or like, let's be honest, we don't, as black people and as Africans, we don't have a comprehensive grip on our, like, let's say, prior history, or like our prior knowledges, or like let's say archive of knowledge. It's missing.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't think there's anything we can do about that. Probably a solution will come in the future. But as for right now, the world, it's moving very fast.
Very fast.
Very fast. I don't think we as a people that are trying to survive have the privilege to like pick and choose what form of education we want to highlight. But we should pick and choose. And we should pick and choose the most intelligent options. Right? Learn from other people's mistakes. Currently, your phone has more information on it than I think the Library of Alexandria.
Yeah.
So we need, even if it's the white man's education, because I don't know why everyone's so opposed to it, as though we can do anything about history. It happened. Pick up the shovel, either dig your grave or start building the foundations for your house.
Yeah.
I think we should do the latter.
Build the foundation.
Build the foundation and rectify our educational system. Because the education is the backbone of the people, because the future is tied to education. And we should make sure that people that are, like, let's say, coming into filling these positions and these institutions are well grounded. Right? Because we've complained over the years. Last president didn't have a university degree. Current president's university degree is questionable. Are we actually proud of ourselves as a society?
Actually.
So we should actually like look into these type of things and rectify them. That's for one. That's like correcting one. That's one step.
Okay, let me just clarify something. Okay, you think that the problem itself is poor knowledge on history?
No.
Like sorry, for the educational system.
No, not poor knowledge of history. Just poor knowledge overall. Because I think, let's be honest, I don't think I'm not insulting anybody.
Yeah.
But we know that a large population of people in this country are illiterate.
Yeah, no cap.
So if you were to ask them what exactly democracy is, they can't answer it. So how exactly are they living by it? How exactly do they live under it? Right? It is like, these are the tiny nuances that like nobody picks up on. Right? For the longest time, we're going by history, historical standards. If you go to the northern side now, they've always had they already had their own leadership system, and I don't think it really went away. The Sokoto Caliphate, the Emir is doing this. He leads everything. The Sultan of Sokoto, I think up to now, I think one of the like ceremonial things that I think still happens. I don't think still happens was like, you know, the Salah celebrations.
Salah
celebrations. So like, I think more or less it's like, if Sultan says it happens, it's going to happen. If it doesn't happen, it's going to happen. I think based on like the way the moon works, if the moon doesn't come out properly, then the Sultan decides if it's going to happen or it's not going to happen. I'm not sure the rules, but I know that he plays a very big part on, like, let's say, the ceremony of it.
Yeah.
Right? It tells you that, oh yes, we still have Sharia laws. Right? And then I don't think, like, let's say, these people that haven't gone to schools don't understand that, oh yes, there are Sharia laws and then there's the constitution. Right? They don't know the other. There's no full grasp of how exactly the system works, because the education they were supposed to have that was to guide these decision-making processes were not provided to them.
Okay, so the first one is the educational
system. Yes.
And the next one?
Then the next one is our institutions. Right? The institutions we have should be strong enough to stand the test of, like, let's say, political instability.
Okay.
Right? Because, for example, we all know that, like, let's say, the best example is the United States Federal Reserve. Is it Federal Reserve? What's the central bank called?
Yes, it's the Federal Reserve.
Oh, the Federal Reserve.
Federal Reserve,
Yeah. Next is Federal
or
Reserve.
US Treasuries.
Yeah, the Treasury, whatever. The president is a very the position of that president is fixed for a tenure of 10 years. So that means whichever person comes within that 10 years does not affect his political loyalties. His loyalty, more or less, not even political loyalty. His loyalty is to the American people and to tackling inflation. Right? Whereas in Nigeria, our institutions, on the other hand, do not represent that like the permanent in the civil servant in the civil service. Yes, because if I thought like the people at the helms of affairs do not, or like let's say their positions do not look so sacred that they then just come and go by every single passing government, it shows a lack of permanence in the civil servant, in the civil service.
Yeah.
The president of the CBN is always elected by a new, or I say re-elected by different presidents. So basically, you might as well say he's bribing one person to bribe another person.
Yeah. His loyalty is just
his loyalty is to whoever appointed him.
Yeah.
Other institutions like that can also be questioned. Our security sectors, every single president that has come and go by the last 2 decades have always changed their heads of securities. Yes, I understand that because of the fears of like let's say the coups that happened in the past, right? The weakening the military, everybody is like, yeah, there's a proper control over his body at the same time. It creates this instability whereby, oh yes, one person is leading today, there's already a direction, and then it goes away. Now it's so bad that Nigeria has no future plans.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Other countries are like, oh, by 2030 we'll stop using fuel.
Yeah, all these
fuel
things.
cars, and everyone will start using battery cars and like
everybody,
stuff like that.
They already have their roadmap for the future.
The roadmap for the future.
Yeah.
And then the people that just come into offices are just there to guide the nation to set go. But then there's so much instability like in all our institutions generally, like in all our institutions, that it feels very, it makes the system very uncertain. So you point where people are like, what is the difference between this and a military system? Because let's be honest, what's the difference? Everything is so unstable. And what's one of the features of the military system? Instability. Because there's no certainty in anything. And our system reflects that. There's no stability. Everything just comes and goes. No accountability. I think that's my third point now. My third and final point. I think we actually need to like promote accountability, not just at like at the leadership level, but like even at the grassroots level. Because a lot of things happen and we just let them happen. Right? For example, now, even in our hostels here.
Yeah.
Okay, if at all one of our heads, probably like say the governor or someone is tasked to do something, right? Okay, fine, he's not privileged to do it because of one or two things. Who exactly are we holding accountable? So I see the problems we have. Because if he's not responding, the people at the higher ups are not responding, who exactly is being accountable for the things that are happening? Nobody. Everything just comes and goes. It just shows that we're living
just anyhow. Exactly. Nobody's accountable.
Accountability, like it or not, is like it's another core backbone of everything, and it's something that we lack, not just at the federal level, but then as people, we pouring water over from the top down. Nobody cares. No one has. It's very, very draining. I don't know how to say expansionary, because I'm lost for words to like describe it. So yeah, that's the thing.
Well, I mean, at least if so, you really feel that if the government do tackle education, institutions, and accountability, this democracy that you love so much will like tighten, and the holes in it will be filled.
Yeah,
Wow,
but
wow,
we all
that's
know that. But we all know that Rome wasn't built in a day. It just
yeah,
doesn't happen overnight.
yeah. It just doesn't happen overnight. Yeah.
Exactly.
Before I jump into my next question, this thing just brought up. Like, what do you think it would take to happen?
First steps now. Someone has to start it. It
Someone
has to
has
be
to.
initiated, and like it has to be done properly
Hmm.
to make sure that, oh yes, that's what I mean by the institutions, because the civil service
Hmm.
or the civil servants are the permanent structures in
Yeah.
leadership, not the politicians. Because let's be honest, those are politicians. They come and go.
Hmm.
So the institutions should be strong enough to guide us to set goal. It has to start with, yes, it has to start with the person, with the people making decisions, but it's continued by us, the people, as civil servants and as citizens,
Hmm.
doing the right things and doing what we are expected to do.
Do you distrust this current government?
Do I distrust them?
Yeah.
I never trusted them in the first place, but that's his point. I don't even think I distrust them because like it's already expected.
To
But
distrust them.
yeah, it's already expected. But I would say I'm not even like distrusted. I'm more disappointed
Hmm.
because at the very least, try and imitate a reasonable democracy, or slightly try and imitate or like behave as though you actually listen to your people.
Hmm.
If there's anything I have to like say about the current government, like behave as though you actually listen to the people.
Just behave.
Behave
Not
as
even
though
like
like give people hope,
yeah.
but you're not giving people hope. How many between between January and now,
Yeah.
how many mass killings have there been in this
A
country?
lot.
A lot.
Yeah. I can't even count.
And which memorial was made on Independence Day? What reverence was given? Are we going to wait until the December Christmas line, or is it the New Year line?
Hmm.
His New Year speech, or is it his Christmas speech, or which other speech are we waiting for? But there is no like, there is no,
Sign of like, okay, we're practicing democracy.
thank you. No, there's no sign that, oh yes, I am here to lead you people and not just do as I wish.
Hmm.
Because quite frankly, the most selfish thing you did was replacing our national anthem in one day.
Yeah. uh,
Fastest bill passed, changing our national anthem in
in
one
one day.
day. I mean, national anthem that would be designed particularly because it reminded us of, like, let's say our, what is it called? Um, Particularly because of the pre-colonial times.
Hmm.
It was edited, or like I say, we made for us
Yeah.
by us,
Else.
and you chose to go back. I'm like, without any consultation. You didn't even put in your. I feel like if I thought you even put in your manifesto,
Hmm.
okay,
It.
there are some expectations, but then that's very arbitrary
Hmm.
and shows weakness in the democratic system, or no, not democratic system, but in like more or less the federative system,
Very system.
because I think it's the lawmakers that make laws. You don't make laws.
Hmm.
You're the executive. You're meant to execute. So you went and then communicated with the legislature and then put houses past it the same day, and then you just went. I'm like, what? That feels very military-esque or very
Hmm.
dictatorship type. So yeah,
So you don't like this new national anthem?
I don't. I despise it. I have intentionally not learnt it because if at all,
uh,
not learning it is a privilege given to me by democracy. So yes, I can
okay,
choose to
at
learn
least
it
you have that
or not.
freedom not to.
Yes, I still have that freedom not
I
to.
mean, if this was a dictatorship,
You definitely would have learned it by now.
okay. When you were talking, I noticed something that I didn't notice, which is I feel like there is a gap between leadership and followership. That there is this unconnected bridge between the leaders
And
and the citizens and the followers. Like,
yeah,
do you have anything to put in there? Anything to like say?
I would say I blame several things,
Mhm.
but I would say religion and tradition.
Religion.
and tradition.
Okay.
I know I sound very
Controversial.
atheistic or very controversial about it, but like, let's be honest, everybody has been like groomed to behave in a certain way.
Yeah.
Our leaders are fine now
Mm.
and they are undisputable, reflective of our religion and then traditional values we hold close to us. We don't we don't ask questions, we just obey. We don't question authority, we just obey. Is that not it?
Do you think we just obey though?
We just obey. Tell me one time we've not. Oh yeah, I think last time, I think the most outspoken disobedience aside good luck's process, or like I said, the most memorable one. Um, those guys that protested against Abacha, what happened to him? What's his name? Self? I've forgotten his name.
He was
That those guys that were protesting about the oil spills in Niger Delta and all that, and then Abacha killed them and all that, and that was the last anyone protested against the government. And
mm,
let's be honest, Abacha left a very big legacy in space of how many months that he was in office. But yes, that man did a lot, and
mm,
quite frankly, the the what's the word? The trauma
mm,
of the colonial
times.
days.
Yeah.
No, not even colonial, or the military times
Yeah.
still live with us. Hence, wow, it's like a wounded dog. You got injured and then like you look at that scar every time you want to, like, let's say jump
Mm.
or something like that, and then like we just keep remembering that, oh yeah, you can't do that because if you do it,
Something
something will
will happen.
happen.
Yeah, because now that I do think about it, we are allowed to speak up and say something, but like because of what happened in the past, we fear that it might repeat itself. And
Exactly,
wow, so we are also playing a role in this shit.
exactly.
Do you think that we need to cut this government some slack? I mean, like you're a very very objective person. Like the reason I like the way you're talking right now, you're not just saying what everybody's saying. Like, oh, these are like. Do you think that okay, there are places where we can cut these guys a slack and put hands on deck and actually move something in the way we want it to move?
Cut them some slack.
Mm,
That phrase, that phrase would have made sense if I told this we had problems.
mm,
But like they don't have problems. Like personally,
mm.
they don't have value enough problems to not have acted appropriately. Because quite frankly, I feel like they keep forgetting that people are dying. The rest of the world is shouting about how people are dying like other parts of the world,
Yeah,
but people are actively dying in your states.
yeah.
People are people are actively dying in your states by the hundreds. Militias, militia. I mean, these are literally minuscule armies that are forming and terrorizing local governments and sorry, and like other governments, other like levels of governments, right?
Yeah,
There has not been any military intervention.
and there has not been any
Military
military
intervention.
intervention. Yeah.
There's, I mean, the Benue killings happened. Tinubu went there and like saw them. I think his wife donated money.
Mm.
But what happened? Why? What do you mean by cut them slack? Why did you donate money to those people when they paid tax money to you to ensure their security and then you funded them back money? Does that make any sense? Does that
You
make
just
any
gave them back
sense?
their money.
Exactly. Does that make any sense?
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It
It
doesn't make
doesn't make
sense.
any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Did you then provide security afterwards?
No, they didn't.
The funny thing. The funny thing was I saw this tweet during the time of like the Benue killings.
Mm.
Someone was like, he was there at the scene when Tinubu came and like arrived with his convoy and rest, and he tweeted, "To think this man has more security currently than when they were killing us.
Mm.
Which security was there when they were killing them?
Yep, no.
None. But how many cars and how many military personnel follow the
Follow one
president
man.
from state to state?
Yeah.
I'm like, with taxpayer money, like why do you need this much security if at all your state was secure?
Yeah.
It's a logical fallacy.
Yeah. He just knows that.
You just know that you're messing up, so there's no slack to be cut.
Mm. There's no slack to actually record though.
Thank you.
Okay, so guys, yeah, just now.
No.
All right. I mean, on this topic here,
Mhm.
on this topic, like this whole insecurity is like it's too much because you cannot even just see this Benue killings. Do you know that over 100,000 Christians have been killed in Nigeria in the last 5 years?
Over 100,000.
Over 100,000. Like on X, you see like stats dropping every single minute ever since that Benue killings, and like nobody's saying anything. And you have somewhere like only the vessels come out to drop and what's it called donations. That's the most crazy. Like nobody's asking these questions. Like nobody's saying anything. And if you now look at this from this essence now, what people are trying to derive from this whole what's it called problem is that it is an attack on Christians. Because if you check it, it's 100,000 Christians. Churches are being burnt. Yes, and all these things are directed towards one religion. So it's becoming, is it insecurity in the nation or insecurity towards a specific kind of people?
Okay.
You get so
Those type of questions are very sensitive and very polarizing. One. Two. There's no way to blame one group, right? Because like I said, accountability.
Mm.
We have no information, if at all, these who exactly is committing these atrocities, right? We don't know their incentives or their motives as to why exactly they are doing it, right? Yes, a group of people are being purged, and the governments that are supposed to protect them are failing. I feel like we're forgetting the fact that it's not even about like you say being a specific group of people. These are Nigerian citizens, irrespective of your group, race, type, sex. You paid taxpayer money to be protected, and then the failure of them carrying out their job then allows these type of polarizing events to then happen in our societies and happen in our localities, because they have failed to provide these preventive measures. It has now opened up the opportunity, or like you say, the chance whereby these type of events happen that then polarize us to think that yes, our enemy is our neighbor. Our enemies are not our neighbors. I understand it's very easy and very like comfortable for us, like let's say, jump to the conclusion that this set of people are the reasons for our problems. But the reason for your problems are not just that straightforward. Life is too nuanced for it to be like 1 + 1 = 2.
Yes.
So the main thing was like to remember is that the people that were supposed to make sure these things were not supposed to happen
Yeah.
failed at their job.
imagine they had what's it called these meetings with bandits.
Yeah,
Did you see that thing?
I heard,
And
I saw
then
it.
the bandits showed up with what's it called rifles and what's it called all this like
Yeah, with the bullets
their
and all
whole
that.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, and our policemen did not show up with anything. To have like a peace talk, and you have that kind of thing happening in a country where you're supposed to have a sovereign or it's supposed to be called a sovereign nation. Like you see all those kind of things in this kind of country. Like it's just now I don't want to just like you said, it's very polarizing to just say yes, it's this specific kind of persons
yeah.
that. But let's also tell ourselves like let's actually like reason it. Let's reason this whole matter. You see that all these killings are from the north.
Let's not do that.
Let's not do that. But let's no, I'm not trying to. Let's not do that. But they come from the north, right? And we have certain cases here in the in the east here where headsmen.
Yeah.
And you basically have someone to come out and tell you that it's for those is their cow is their cow that is doing it. It doesn't make any sense. Like it doesn't make any sense. You're a nomadic farmer, right? And I expected that okay, yes, you're going to be pushing for like,
Yeah.
but there's a reason why everything is what's it called a territory,
Yeah.
and that there's the boundaries to everything, and you're not supposed to cross paths. But when you see them crossing paths, nobody says anything. But when we have killings, they say that yes, what's it called is just normal farmers. This like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
It
like I said,
doesn't. You have to hold a certain, whether or not it's a certain religion, a certain tribe, or a certain person to accountable. People need to be held accountable. And it's not just the government, because at this point it's not just the government, because the government
it is just
no
the government.
do you know something do you know something, the government can't do anything.
The government can.
We know how
The government can and should. You see, the issue is that like let's say more or less all of life is like it's more or less a domino effect.
okay,
It's more or less a domino effect. Fine. Boko Haram came. The first
Yeah.
religious militia that we had.
Jihadists
It
group.
created the idea of, like, let's say, religious divide and religious conflict in Nigeria. Why wasn't it stopped at the root? Why wasn't it stopped
Because
when
it
they
was a
had the chance
political
to
move.
stop?
It was a political
Exactly.
move.
So we cannot say that, like, say, the first person to push the domino
Yes.
is not the actual, because the dominoes are not to blame. It's the person who pushed it. And the only person who has power, who has actual power, is the government.
So wait,
The government is not you.
So let me ask you a question.
The government is the federal arm, the legislative arm, and the judiciary.
And guess what? We have Tinubu sponsoring Buhari. You know, he sponsored that whole campaign in 2015.
Yes. No.
Yes, he did. He sponsored that whole campaign in 2015.
I can't say it's necessarily him, because there was also rumors of, like, let's say, international.
Definitely. Every political party will have their own international backing. You know. But then he is like the main man that sponsored that campaign, basically. Do you get? So, like, you have to understand that now Tinubu now has said that it is his turn. It is his time. Right? And like you have this kind of thing happening just so that they could take out Jonathan.
Yeah, their protests and all that.
So you know that these people are the ones in charge of this bandit. Just as the government can't do anything.
You see,
because it's their people.
You see the thing. You're grossly underestimating the power.
I'm not underestimating. Do you know why these people are still here?
Underestimating the power of the government.
Do you know why? Do you know why these people are still there?
No, I feel like you are not getting it.
Okay.
You're underestimating the power and influence these institutions have. The biggest lenders of money in Nigeria, is Central Bank of Nigeria. If you want to get more money, you have to go outside Nigeria.
Yeah.
Like it or not, inflation stops everywhere from, like, let's say, printing more money than you can count.
Yes.
Right? But at the same time, and because of these reasons, it tells you that if just as in the words of Abacha, anything that happens in a state within 24 hours, the government knows about it.
Definitely. The
government is beautiful that is a federal system. We have is a president, is a federal system, is a president. Yeah. There's not the execution of laws and, like, say, the execution of duties are not, like, let's say, up for question, where, like, let's say, up for debate in the house, like the parliamentary system. It's very straightforward. If you want to do something, you do it. Let's not say that the government cannot do it. The government can do it. The government can actively do whatever they want to do in times of war. So not whatever they want to
now
do
the question
in times of war.
How do you?
And then, like I said, we should have treated the first instance with aggression and make sure it was.
Wait, where do you think Boko Haram came from?
Where I think he came from is not relevant.
Okay,
I'm not going to be quoted in the future saying this.
No. Listen first. Listen. Where Boko Haram came from, right? Because you know the the runner mate of
Please, let's say allegedly.
Allegedly, okay.
Thank you.
Allegedly by Mr. What's it called? What's that thing? Dati Ahmed, Baba Dati Ahmed, right? On Channels News, he came out and told this guy Shehu and explained this whole Boko Haram situation, right? Boko Haram came from, like, terrorist group. You know, Libya had this issue in 2015.
Yeah,
exactly. So the part of exactly. So now they were basically used as an instrumental to get out Jonathan.
No.
So now, by who? APC.
Not necessarily.
Okay, but APC and the United States of America, if you don't know, allegedly by these people, right? Allegedly. So that was a political move to get out this guy, Jonathan, and put their president Buhari. So now you had this kind of thing happen. You expect that, what's it called? You think that you now just think that these guys are going to go scot-free without getting, let's say, full payment or what's it called? No, what they want, these are jihadist group. Their plan is to come and take over. That's what jihadists do. That's what they did in Iran. That's what they did in Egypt. That's what they do. They go. They did in Turkey. They go there and Islamize the states, and that's what they do. And what they do it by killing, by surrendering, or by taking it by force. You get?
It's like a crusade.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, these people that's what they are doing. Because we're an Islamic group and they are pushing for that thing. I'm not saying that, like, I'm not pointing it towards just the government, but they brought it in and it's an issue now that is getting out of hand. right? So I'm not saying like okay, I'm not saying that it is the North. I'm saying it's an Islamic group, right? Not everybody in the North is like obviously
Islam, yeah.
yeah,
Yes,
or I won't say Islam, but they're not in like what's it called with those people.
yeah.
But then it is an issue that is currently ongoing, which was brought by who? This same government, right?
We can't prove that.
We have proved it.
We can't prove it.
Wait, okay, let me give you an example.
Is different
Let me give
documental
let,
proof.
let me give you an example now. Let me give you an example. This man, El Rufai came out and said he knows how the what's it called?
I feel like
he knows how
you
the
need to understand that like you're quoting political opposition. It makes it
no. El Rufai was the former please calm down. El Rufai was under APC before you. El Rufai was under APC
Did he
before.
say it when he was in APC or
Because
after
he has because wait, let's look at it from this example, right? Let's look at it from this. He came out of APC knowing what APC did, right? Knowing what that political position did to get out Jonathan, and now he's coming out and saying, "Yeah, this is the truth."
How can you prove that? It's like saying your brother did not give you his you went to your elder brother's room, you asked him for his phone. He doesn't give it to you. You now go crying to your mother like, "Mommy, he slapped me." How can I prove it?
So how can we prove it?
Yes.
That he slapped you?
No, why are you crying? Like as in it's same thing. He's crying. He left the room because they didn't give him what he wanted, and then
okay, you could put that
he might as well be lying.
But guess what? But you can also use the idea that this is what happened, right? And then he has probably seen that
no,
what's it called? Let's just listen. APC. How many of these like major what's it called? Governors are moving to APC because they know that they can gain more in APC. Why would someone want to leave the APC?
Why would someone want to leave the APC?
Yes.
Because you just no longer agree with the political ideologies.
Exactly. You just finished answering that question now because you don't agree with the political ideology of the party. So now,
okay.
Wait now, and you know that this current political party has been ruling for how many years now? Let's say this is 10 years, right? Yeah. 10 years. They're ruling for 10 years, and there's no progress. At least not until this year. There has not been no progress, basically, right?
They made progress. They remove subsidy.
Removal of subsidy, and where did the end? Where has it ended? Where's the progress?
No, I feel like
removal of subsidy. Wait, do you understand that removal of subsidy was a good move, a good economical move, but wasn't done in the right way? Do you agree with that? Yeah. Exactly. So now, because it wasn't done in the right way, it has basically put Nigeria into another slump. Yes, we can say that they are basically trying to make it better, but making it better, doing what you did initially has basically overruled your what's it called, other like decisions that you're going to make, or other progressive decisions you're going to make, because what you did is not smart, right? You did the right thing, but in the wrong way, which basically now puts you in a much deeper what's it called hole to dig, like basically. So that's just basically what this political party has done, and every single decision they've been making has been shambles upon shambles upon shambles. And every day you see what's it called saying they want to buy this one for this for legislative members or that. They keep on making money, keep on pumping money. You have Wiki, who is not a political member of the APC, but is in line with what what's it called President Tinubu is doing. You have him laundering money in the United States of America. So you just see all these things here playing out, and you tell me that this current government is not to blame. They are to blame, and not just them to blame for insecurity, but also religious what's it called? Religious
I feel like
issues.
See, religious issues are too because let's be honest, human beings are human beings.
Right.
Those topics are too sensitive.
Right.
For us to start polarizing people, seeing these people are to blame, that people are to blame. Because if you're saying the APC are to blame, what APC? The APC members or just the leaders?
Well, the leaders, basically the people in power.
Okay, I thought. So don't the leaders reflect who the people are, because the people voted them.
Okay, let's just put like yes, the people voted them. Let's just say the people voted. Let's say the people voted them. But we cannot tell ourselves the truth that the people did not vote these people. Let's just allegedly say that the people voted them because they find themselves in that situation, find themselves in those seats, right?
Yes.
Exactly. Let's just say the people voted them.
The people voted
Some people voted them.
Some
yes.
people voted them.
Yes.
And then we cannot start polarizing and then saying it's one party over the other party, because, like it or not, the legislative house has more than one political office, or is it more
Yes,
than
yes,
one
yes.
political party in
Yes,
legislative?
but you have the APC more in Congress. You have the APC more in executive seats. You have the APC more. So
Yes,
like,
it's basically a polarized government. But
yeah.
then are you going to say that like the other members of the Senate have actively made anything progressive?
But like you have in the Senate, is like what they do there is majority carries the vote basically.
Yeah, no, but does it mean that you should not try?
When you have majority number,
You should not try.
when you have a majority, no,
Are
I'm
you
not
saying
saying
you should
I'm
not
not
try?
saying they're not going to try. They should not try. They obviously should try, but
Mhm.
you definitely have majority numbers in a political. So you expect the majority to
Yeah,
basically
now
overrule
to
every decision.
overrule every decision.
Exactly.
The expectation should not be the reason why you should not do something.
No, I'm not saying
Right.
they should not
But
try.
at the same
They
time,
definitely.
we can't say it's the APC that did it. I feel more comfortable saying that it's the government, because the government is a blank body.
Sorry.
A body made up of different people from like at very gross stages. The government is not just Tinubu. There's the arms of chief, there's the Inspector General of Police, there's the head of the army, head of the navy. The government is a combination of different people that are in charge of doing something.
Yeah.
And since these people have failed,
Mm.
and then the government is also it's not made up of only one race of people or one creed of people.
Yeah.
So they are the people I feel more comfortable holding accountable. Thank you.
So like, so I got like very very lost. Like, what was the argument between the both of you about? Like, what were you saying and what was he
Who
saying?
are we holding accountable?
Okay, you were both arguing who you're holding accountable.
Yeah.
Anthony, you said you are holding.
I'm holding what's it called? Those political what's it called? The political leaders and the religion, like the religious people, like those Islamic people,
Yeah.
those jihadists basically.
And then you are holding who accountable?
The government of Nigeria.
The government of Nigeria.
Yes.
Both of you are saying the same thing now.
No.
No, not just the government. I'm saying APC, I'm saying
Okay, APC in particular.
In particular.
Okay, but you opposed to APC in particular.
Yes.
Why?
okay. Let me tell you something. I'm not like in as much as I'm just like picking this thing. You know that Canada as a country declared APC and PDP as terrorist groups.
Anybody
Yeah.
can do that.
Yeah, anybody can do. Yes, I'm just saying. But there's probably a reason why these people did it, right? And like, you look at what they've been doing ever since this party came up. You know, APC was a coalition party to get out PDP, right? So you see that this is, and ever since they came up, there has always been insecurities in the land. They brought in insecurity. That is a known fact, whether or not you want to believe it or not. They brought in as a political move, and that political move has brought about issues in the country. Whether or not you want to like them, what's it called, take it like that or not, it's just how it has been, and it is glaring. It is a picture, a frame. Everybody knows it. It's a known fact.
So you're inferring that they brought in insecurity.
Yes. We're not stating facts here.
All right, we're not stating facts, but we're inferring.
I'm not inclined to like.
Okay, yeah, understand. I understand. But
Thank you.
it is like we need to understand that these people are bringing in. They brought in the issues, and it helped. It worked for them. But now you should know that the issue that they brought in is like a jihadist group. They're not just. They're a movement. That's what they do. I mean, you can look at Israel. You can look at what's it called? So I say Israel. You can look at Turkey, for example. Turkey was a Christian nation before.
Okay.
Or that's a Jewish nation. It wasn't Islamic. Now Turkey is Islamic. Right?
No.
Yes, it
I
is.
disagree.
Turkey is Islamic. What do you want to say?
Turkey has always been Islamic.
It has not always been Islamic.
It's
Israel and let me tell you.
literally neighboring the Middle East.
No, yeah, Israel is in the Middle East and Israel is not Islamic.
Israel did not exist.
Let me tell you.
After
Do you know that if you date back to what's it called? Turkey was the people of Esau. I say people of Jacob and Esau. You know Jacob and Esau?
You know
the
what
brothers.
history happened after Jacob
Calm down first. Calm down. You know Jacob and Esau. Turkey is the people of Esau.
Okay.
They are not Islamic.
Okay.
But then Turkey became an Islamic nation because of these people, right?
No, actually.
That's what they did.
There was the Ottoman Empire.
That's what they did.
The Ottoman Empire conquered like a majority of the Middle East and like Eurasia, and like made them Islamic.
That's the point. That's the point of a jihadist group. That's what they do. They conquer.
No, so according to Gemini, no, Turkey was not always Islamic.
Thank you.
It was historically the home to other religions, most notably Greek Orthodox Christianity.
It's Islamic.
Yeah. So Tony was right.
Yeah.
Okay, Tony is right on that one.
It was Islamic. It wasn't Islamic before. Now it is Islamic,
See,
right?
see,
Let's no.
okay, wait,
I'm just
pause,
saying. I'm just
pause.
giving.
Let's not behave like Islam is really religion that entered people's lives and conquered them and like made them convert.
So what are we saying? Like, I'm not saying that
You
they're the
just came back
only.
from church.
That's what I'm not saying that.
Did you come back from church?
I'm not saying that they're the only. Wait, but like, wait first. I'm not.
No, I feel like you need to understand that like there are too many things at play
Yeah.
for us to say that this is it or this is the answer,
Yeah.
right? So let's see, just like the closest thing that refers to like who exactly you can hold accountable is the government, because in as much as you say that yes is the APC, but you can't tell me that like let's say someone appointed to do his job fails to do his job because of his own personal biases, and that should not be like say taken account of because we are blaming the APC. You know that means you're basically saying that oh yes this thing who is the what do you call the I don't know the biggest general in Nigeria. I don't know how that hierarchy shit works.
The biggest what?
General. What is
IDP. No, the biggest general is president.
Okay, yeah. Aside the president, like all these other generals.
IDP now. That's inspector.
That's
IDP.
for police.
That's for police.
I don't know. Let's just go. You know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me that as an army personnel, you're hired to do your job and then you fail to do it because you fail to do it because
But you
and
can't
then
say
you should then blame the APC.
you can't say that the army
You cannot
personnel
no at the same
fail.
time. No, see, when they sent them to Sambisa Forest,
Mm.
I believe everybody said they could not do it and then it came out, they pulled out. Because you failed to eliminate them, we should not then start blaming the APC. Okay, fine. The APC played, I'm air quoting for those who cannot see, air quoting, played a role in how exactly these things came to fruition, right? But that's besides the point. The point is there's an issue,
Definitely.
and the only person that can solve said issue is the government and the institutions. Because the military institution and the other security apparatus, I don't think it's sources, and the security apparatus are like responsible to handle the security. We can say someone created a problem, but it has to be solved, and people that are solving it are the Nigerian government. They are tasked with the responsibility of doing it, and the political inclinations should not determine how everything happens. I feel like we should be more objective than
that's subjective.
exactly to the issues. Thank you.
Yeah. So okay. Let's just see. Look at what I just read now.
Mm-hmm.
Boko Haram places the Boko Haram leader Abubakar something places a bounty of 10 million naira on an army soldier, an army personnel, basically. So now you heard that one yesterday.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this kind of things happen in a country like Nigeria. You see bandits show up to peace talks with guns and yes. Okay, now this kind of things you said that the government can, because you feel like it's bad people. So it boils down to the government, right?
Yes.
The government is made up of various and a lot of
Thank
people,
you.
definitely. But if you look at the ratio of the political party, no, I'm just saying. We're basing it on stats. We're basing it on stats.
No,
We're basing it on stats, right? We're basing it on stats, right? The main party is our APC. APC is the one currently in government. I mean, look at the top 3 personnel in Nigeria. You have the president, the vice president, and the senate president, right? These 3 persons are in APC.
Anything, no offense, but vice president not really there. President, senate president, and then chief judge.
Okay, chief judge. Okay, chief judge. These guys don't really have political ties. Yeah, some of them do have political ties. Some of them, but like
they do not have political ties. But yeah,
some of them could. But I don't know. That's when they leave.
Yeah.
These 3 persons are what's it called? APC members, right? Then you look at the Congress, right? The House of Congress, that's the Senate House.
Yeah,
like you look at the
National Assembly,
exactly. You look at the what's it called? The ratio of senators there. You have these are people that make the laws basically. Yeah. You have majority of them being in APC, right? Then you look at even go to the ministers. If you go to ministerial positions, you see APC members more. So now Yeah, other than the Minister of FCC, the Minister of FCC, which is one of the top ministers in Nigeria, you have PDP member.
He's a state minister. He's not supposed to be that high up. Theoretically, he's just a minister. Proceed.
Good and fine. But you see how he's pulling strings, but that's just it. But like you have more APC ministers, so all these things here are factors you need to also consider. That is why I basically blame that party, because ever since that party got what is it called, appointed, basically into power, they came into power. These problems have been there, and it's a known fact. Even if it's not really stated in any book or it's not really written down somewhere, it's a known fact that this Boko Haram was a political movement or political what's it called, strategy to get out Jonathan, right? What did they do when they came? They were basically threatening towards. There was this like stuff that he was planning. He does bills, and I think it was a gas something or something like that. I don't know. And then they were threatening that they would do something. They were bombing and stuff. That was back in 2015. So this really puts Jonathan in a tough seat, you know, and the opposition parties, you know, use that as an advantage to
Do you want to
security.
hear my hot take
Oh,
on this Jonathan situation?
oh,
Okay, this is my hot take on Goodluck Jonathan. You knew they were going to come and kill people
yeah,
if you won the election, right?
yeah,
So you gladly surrendered as the incumbent president.
yeah.
How exactly has it played out in the long run? People have still died.
Definitely, yes.
Hundreds have died. Thousands have died. That still would have died if I thought you actually won. So let's not say we should also cut him in slack, because
No, I don't cut him in slack.
I have always been pissed at the whole idea of like,
Yeah.
okay, fine, it's not Goodluck's fault, so and this is these people's fault because he left, because they said, oh, people are going to die.
Yeah.
People still died. People are still dying.
Yeah.
So now what I mean by it's the government. Objectively, history, like let's say, takes note of all these things. It's
Yeah.
not going to be the APC. You get it? Nobody remembers the name of the National Party that brought in Hitler, because Hitler came in democratically, right? The political party's name was not there. It's the government. Nobody cares about the political party. Other than, like I say, the fact that we're forced to learn about political parties in your government textbook, what's the relevance of the political party when they killed this in the first guys, when the first coup d'etat happened in this in 66? Do you remember any of their political parties?
I do.
No. The political party is not the point. The point is, Goodluck, quite frankly, to me, started the domino effect of failure. If you wanted to fight, Nigeria had a very functioning economy back in those days.
Yeah.
We had a very functioning military. If at all you wanted to stop this thing, you should have eliminated it properly. You should have done it properly. You had the opportunity to do it, you wasted it.
But
now people are dying, and then we are quick to like say,
Yeah,
jump in and
I'm
then
just-
say,
I'm
oh
just-
yes, it's a political. Leave politics aside. We're not
Yeah.
talking about politics. We're talking about, like, say, the future of our people. Politicians come and go. They come and go. This year. So then,
Yeah, it's like, yeah, he did happen, right? You cannot say it's not politics and the rest, right? Politics also has its part to play in all these things. Politics will definitely has its part to play in all these things, right? Most
but history will not
definitely.
judge us for that.
History will judge us for political decisions, right? Bias, like history judge us for everything. When you're talking about government, you're talking about politics, right? You're talking about religious, even religion. Religion will also be what is it called, play its part in all these things too. A lot of factors, but mainly politics.
Okay, wait. How many percent of the time do you remember that at least Hitler was a Christian?
Hitler was a Christian, yes, but like not
Thank you.
people know.
So do you bring it up whenever you want to, when you want to talk about the Nazis? Oh yeah, that the Nazis comprised of Christians that believe that Jews should die.
You know, if you actually want to bring up that topic about Hitler,
But we're talking about biases now.
if you
mentioned
come now, let me
bias.
just tell you, if you want to bring up that issue of Hitler, there's a lot of underground stuff that's hidden from the public.
At the same time, that's what I'm saying.
You know-
Objectively, nobody cares about the stuff we don't know. We're talking about things we do know.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. But like, if you want to bring up the stuff and enlighten people about Hitler, right? We
Uh-huh.
tell them the truth and we also dig up the facts. Everybody knows what Hitler is or who Hitler was and what he did. Everybody knows that part of the story, but nobody really knows the underground part of the Hitler story. So, but I don't want to go into Hitler or what's it called? Anybody that even Mama Gaddafi. I don't want to go into all these
But
people.
we're talking about failures, are we not?
We're talking about failures that was documented.
Yes. There's no you cannot burn the past by, let's say, trying to address the present.
But the past is documented wrongly. Do you get? The point of this podcast is to enlighten people about the truth. And if we are going to talk about these people, there are truths that were being buried that would basically go and basically fish out. So I don't want to go into Hitler and the rest of those things. What I'm saying is, at the end of the day, these people will be judged on political ties, religious ties. A lot of factors will be considered, a lot of things will be put in place. If we're going to come here and constructively talk about these people, we need to also consider all these factors that had to play his part. Do you get? We're not just going to say he failed. Why did he fail? Why did Jonathan fail? Jonathan failed because of a lot of suppression, not just from other political oppositions, from outside, from international, and what's it called? Yes, he had
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
But
Okay.
we're not going to talk
Pause.
about. That's the point of this. That's the point of this.
Our present day. I feel like it's a very beautiful idea that, like, let's say, foreign governments played this massive role in, like, shaping how our lives were.
Exactly.
Yes. But in the past 2 to 3 years, we've seen the Sahel region turn from, like, let's say, being led by, in quotes, democratic figureheads
Yes, to
military dictators.
exactly. But we've seen that part of Nigeria before, and it hasn't.
Ibrahim Traore has successfully gone, like,
Burkina
has
Faso.
survived more than 15 coup attempts.
Okay.
As a leader, your biggest objective is protecting the people. No coup attempt. Okay, fine. I don't know. Maybe it scared him out of office, but at the same time, your blood was not yet spilled. I don't know. See,
Still a human being at the end of the day.
he's still a human being at the end of the day, but we're not asking for it. That's what I mean by we cannot be holding the human beings accountable. It's the institutions.
I'm not holding a particular person accountable. I'm holding a particular group of people accountable. That's why I said APC. Because if you're going to talk about the government, there's still people in the government that want the government to be better.
Okay.
I mean, you look at the current government, right?
That's fair.
There is still somebody called Peter Mbai doing a lot of good things. You still someone like Alex Oti. This is the government. The government is comprising of. If you're talking
Thank
about
you. No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, as in, there's no.
So that's what I'm saying. We cannot hold the government accountable for a particular group of people.
And this man is the APC. What happens to him?
Who's an APC?
Imo State governor. Is he not?
Imo State governor. Who's the Imo State governor? This guy. Opuzodima. What is
Opuzodima? Is he a fuck up?
You say, what are we doing ourselves?
I'm just asking.
He's a big fuck up.
I don't know. I thought it was good, Sean.
He's not good.
Okay.
What are we doing ourselves? There is no. There's no you cannot single out. Look at what Sanwo-Olu is doing in Lagos State. He's breaking just without any, like, look at everything that the APC government is doing.
That's that man. What's his name?
Sanwo-Olu.
No, that Igbo man. Ebonyi State governor, the past one.
What's his name?
Umahi David.
Umahi.
Yeah, he's the one responsible for all this stuff. But sure, at the same time, Sanwo is not doing to say anything against it. So yeah,
exactly. So look at all these things happening in Lagos, right? Under political a political party, APC. Look at what's going on in every state. If you look at APC states, every APC state, you blame them. Let's use United States of America for example.
Okay.
There is the Republican and the Democratic, right?
Yes. Well, before you finish, I want to understand that, like, the reason why I don't want to, like, let's start polarizing politics is that polarizing politics demeans how exactly good leadership will ever be chosen, because actively we already decide our current leaders on polarizing factors from religion to tribe. Is that not it?
Yeah.
Those things already divide us enough.
Nice.
So there's no point that you say bringing up and then saying that this or that. Like, there's no need for us to be polarized. I understand it's very comfortable and nice to, like, they say, blame the APC.
No, I'm not just blaming the APC.
I understand, like they say, but let's forget that. The past has happened.
Right.
Has happened. The important thing is the future. I understand. How long has this been going on for?
Now.
Like 10 minutes.
an hour and 10 minutes. I've never
Yes.
listened to a podcast more than 57 minutes, and that's shits and gigs. So I don't know how long guys want this to run for.
Anytime you want,
But like,
you can shut up.
I'm saying, like, you see, for everybody's sake,
Yes.
the past has happened. It has happened. It is important for us to learn from it.
Yes.
But it is more important for us to actively look at the future and be like, what are we supposed to do? Not what do we not do? What are we supposed to do?
Definitely.
So now,
Definitely.
what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to like continue to look at the EPC and like shout that, oh yes, I thought our voices that this is your fault?
Yeah.
Or us as the people, like, let's say, banding together and then looking at the important things that are supposed to like be looked at and make decisions on them.
So the thing is, there are like decisions that could have been taken, that have been taken, but not really strict, or not strictly adhered to. Like, for example, the protest that was supposed to go on last year, I think 1st of August. I don't remember. This kind of things, yeah, this kind of political movement, this kind of protests, right, help shape political decisions,
Okay,
right?
like I was saying, let's be it's a very beautiful thing. Every time everyone suggests what is it called, a protest.
Yes.
A protest is fine. What happens after the protest?
That's what I'm saying. It's a good idea, but then it's never really strictly adhered to. People decide their own stuff at the end of the day.
Exactly.
That's the way the problems are. And all this boils down to, if you look at all these things, they boil down to the differences we have in this country, which is used by all these political members. No, I'm not just saying now, I'm not even saying just APC now, even like a lot of all these political figures. These are the problems that are being put aside. If you're looking at Nigeria's problem boils down to a lot of differences within us. When it comes from religion to tribe, like there's a lot of problems that we have, and I can't say we can fix it. I cannot really say we can fix it because we've tried. How do you expect us to fix problems that dates back to when we were not even born? Problems that, like, look, for example, let me just say something. An Hausa man, for example, will not want, an average Hausa man who knows this past will not want an Igbo man to rule, because he believes that an Igbo man would go there, and because of the because of the 1967 Biafra not allowing them to basically
understand.
Exactly. An average man, Hausa man will not want, so an average Yoruba man will not want this what's called an Hausa man to rule. So it's just religion and tribe and all these things playing in fact. And a Muslim or and a Christian have different faiths, and because they are different faiths, it leads to a lot of contradictions between them. So looking at all these things here, Nigeria's problems basically roots back to like
the past. Okay, that's good. Can I speak? Thank you. The issue of Nigeria's past is there. The tribalism, religion, the civil war, everything. But I feel like everybody needs to understand that objectively, it's time for us to pack up our shit and understand that we're not children.
Okay.
You cannot be crying that, oh yes, because this person did that to me, I'm not going to do this. The world has moved on. If at all a country of 200 million people cannot actively sit down together and like, okay, yes, talk about our differences and put them aside and make effective decisions, because quite frankly, yes, I understand that, yes, the Hausa man says this, or I say it is believed and it is supported that because you're a Hausa man, you should not be a leader in the East, or if you're an Eastern man, you should not be a leader in the North. And because of said things, we have limited ourselves to be for these positions. Can we agree on that?
Okay.
Thank you. Now, I don't know about you, but as for me, thank God, I was privileged enough to go to a private school.
Yeah.
And there's one thing that like keeps happening, like say private settings, as opposed to like, let's say, the real world, right? In private institutions, where it's very like what is it called? Where it's very promoted, or is it encouraged? Encouraged, right? Where it's more or less encouraged for us to like, let's say, speak one language.
Yes.
Right? Nobody looks at that thing. Nobody thinks about the tribe. But all speaking one language. Everyone just knows your name. You just know your name. No one thinks about your creed, your tribe, and all that. And more or less, one thing that you say that I see here, the private sector even does better than the government sector in terms of education. Like proper education, or more or less, I say the best type of education, the closest thing to good education comes from the private sector as opposed to the
Public.
public sector. I'm not saying I support capitalism. I do not support capitalism. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right? So, doing so, it has made people that come out from those type of environments not really, like you see, bear the thoughts of the whole Hausa man, Yoruba man type
Yeah.
stuff. And by extension, it also shows and proves that education blurs some of these things
Yes.
aside. It pushes them away. And that's what we should be focused on. I understand that, like I say, the old people never change because you cannot teach an old dog new tricks. The old people, unfortunately, are gone. The important thing is that us, the future, should already actively try and, like this, is start practicing what we are preaching and allowing ourselves to not follow the same path. You get? I understand that it's very comfortable that, oh yes, we say as a Hausa man I cannot do it, as a Igbo man. You know the funny thing, I think like another reason why I don't like have said biases more or less is because like my parents are like mixed, so one is from the east, one is from the north. So like had I've always been in the middle about everything. I remember doing that. I think was it 2019 when the whole iPop thing like had an uprising and then it had like life and all that, and then the like bombings and all that.
Yeah.
I remember like thinking about, hey, I'm going back to school, right? And I was thinking that, oh yes, if I go back to school, am I going to see like my friends? Because I did going to like be allowed to like travel. Would they be able to travel for all of us like come back and like live together and be happy? I didn't care about the whole thing. I'm not saying I don't know. I'm saying I forgive me. I understand. I
Yeah.
understand the whole iPod movement, but Nigeria as a state has moved on. No, it's not that we have moved on. We should have moved on. The rest of the world is tackling globalization, trying to find ways to involve other countries or people from other countries together. If at all, us as a group of 250 million people cannot find a way to, like, let's say, mix our own with our own traditions together to make a cohesive society. If at all we're to succeed, what exactly do we think is going to happen? That we're not going to have immigrants, and they would also start becoming like the white man. They start killing other black people for crossing our borders. Everything is already mixing because it's not justiciable. It's not justifiable that we would want to, like, let's say, migrate somewhere else and then be treated like human beings, and then you want to not treat your fellow human being here as a human being. Once we treated, nobody likes Kemi Badenoch, but then like she's the closest thing we've come so far.
So what is her name?
No one likes Kemi Badenoch.
Okay.
Yeah, Kemi Badenoch now. That Yoruba,
yeah.
head of the Labour Party in the UK, right? Nobody likes her person. I don't like her person because she's very daft. But like, it's very encouraging to see Nigerians in other parts of the world making changes, and then everyone celebrates it because we are Nigerians. We are comfortable with, like I say, seeing ourselves in other places, and then we're all celebrating it as a nation. When we are going to the World Cup, all the lines are blurred. We are all Nigerians.
Yeah.
That's the important thing. If you now come down here, there's no point in us fighting each other. The war has happened.
Yeah, the war has happened.
The war has happened. It didn't work. Let's learn from it and grow. That's all.
That's all.
Thank you.
Wow, man, this podcast has been nothing but enlightening for me. I think I did like maybe by far one of my best episodes yet. Like, you have like a lot to say. Like, you have a lot. Like, it's obvious that you have like a lot to say, man. And I really look forward to doing this with you some other time. But for now, I think we've come to the end of this podcast.
I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, if you have any questions, any hot takes, whatever, you disagree with Roland or Tony or even me, Our comment box is always open. Peace
All right.
out.
Thank you.